The Chicago Bears have 10 rookies on the active 53-man roster, and a lot of them are going to be getting plenty of playing time in Week 1 against the Green Bay Packers. Week 1 is quickly approaching, and in this video I want to talk about some expectations of various rookies in Week 1, as every single rookie has different expectations, so starting with the highest drafted all the way until UDFAs, starting with Darnell Wright. There's no way to sugarcoat it. He has to look good on Sunday. He doesn't have to look like an all-pro. He doesn't have to look like a superstar. He doesn't have to look like the best player in the world, but he has to look good. He has to look like he is a legitimate right tackle because he's protecting Justin Fields. He cannot afford to have too many rookie mistakes. Obviously, you don't want to see him get any penalties, but a holding call or let's say a false start is a lot better than allowing a sack and getting Justin Fields hit. I'm not saying that we want any of those. Hopefully he goes the entire game without having any penalties. But if you're gonna have a rookie mistake, at least make it a mistake that's not gonna actually put Justin Fields in harm's way. Overall, Darnell Wright needs to have a more clean game than a messy game. He needs to be able to handle the bull rush, which he has shown he has been good at. He needs to be able to handle finesse moves. He needs to get out on the edge. He needs to show a lot. And he previewed a little bit of his talent during the preseason, so I'm not concerned. I'm really excited to see him play. But again, no way to sugarcoat it. Darnell Wright has to look good on Sunday for the Bears to succeed. Then Javon Dexter, senior, the first pick in the second round draft. Now, he is a backup defensive tackle. He's not going to be starting, but he will be rotating in. When he is in the game, I think one of the biggest issues with him is going to be his pad level. He has to try to stay low against the offensive lineman and not shoot straight up out of his stance. Also, he needs to understand his gap responsibilities and not get blown to the side whenever the Packers are going to be running the ball up the middle. Some of his game tape in preseason you saw when him and Zach Pickens, his fellow rookie, both were in, the offensive line just pushed them both to opposite sides and ran right up the middle. They need to contain their gaps. They need, well, Javon Dexter, he needs to hold his double teams. He's gonna get double teamed at times, so you can't expect him to beat the double teams, but he needs to at least try to hold them up and not get driven backwards. And of course, the same goes for Zach Pickens. He's the first third round pick, but I think Javon and Zach are both in the same boat because they are backup defensive tackles. They'll be rotating in waves. I don't know if they'll play together or if, let's say, one of them will be in with Justin Jones and the other Andrew Billings. It'll be an active rotation, so we'll have to wait and see how defensive coordinator Alan Williams uses the two, but nonetheless, they need to have lower pad level, and every now and then a few pressures would be nice, but they mostly need to focus on stopping the run game. And although they're not starters, they're not the two starting defensive tackles, the way the Bears defense operates is heavy on rotations. Lots of guys are going to get in and out, so Javon Dexter and Zach Pickens just might get equal opportunity as a Justin Jones and the Andrew Billings. Maybe not as much, maybe they only play 40% of the plays, but nonetheless, they will get a lot of burn, they will get a lot of playing time, and they need to show that they're not going to be taken advantage of against the Packers offensive line. Moving on to second round pick Tariq Stevenson, who the Bears traded up for. He is somebody who you look at a team's secondary and you say a secondary is only as strong as their weakest link. As a rookie in his first NFL game, Tariq Stevenson will be the weak link in the Chicago Bears secondary. Like during preseason, you saw that other teams were picking on Tariq Stevenson. Last year, you saw teams were picking on Kyler Gordon. NFL teams pick on rookie cornerbacks unless you're an all-pro right out of the gate like a Sauce Gardner, which Tariq Stevenson just isn't that, and that's okay. I'm not saying that he's a bad player, but what I'm saying is teams are going to try him, so he needs to do everything in his power to not get beat all game long. He's gonna get beat every now and then. Hopefully we just limit it to a couple plays, but I would like to see that Tariq Stevenson looks like he belongs. He needs to not be lost on the defense. He needs to, I don't know if he doesn't need to have a turnover. It'd be nice for him to get the ball in his hands at some point, maybe some pass breakups. He needs to tackle in open space. I'd like to see him have a decent game. Again, I'm not expecting him to look like a star. cornerback position is hard, yet alone for a rookie, so overall Tariq Stevenson just needs to not be picked on all game long. And Zach Pickens was drafted after Tariq Stevenson, but I already talked about him with Javon Dexter. So moving on to the 4th round pick, running back Roshan Johnson. The Bears released their official depth chart of week 1 yesterday, and Roshan Johnson was listed as the 3rd string running back behind D'Onta Foreman and Khalil Herbert. I'm not sure how much Roshan Johnson will play, but I know he will get reps, especially on passing downs, because I believe he is the best blocking running back on the Bears team. So when Roshan Johnson gets his opportunity, he needs to show why the Bears need to leave him on the field more often than not. This is going to be a huge opportunity for a guy like Roshan to potentially work his way up the depth chart. I think the Bears like all of the running backs that they have, so it's no rush to get him up there as long as the top 2 backs are looking like really good NFL running backs. But from Roshan Johnson's perspective, you don't want to be buried on the depth chart. He wants to work his way up, and this is a great opportunity to do so. He needs to show that he can block blitzing linebackers, he can help chip on defensive ends, blitzing defensive backs. He's gonna be in on passing down, so he needs to show that he can handle any type of pressure to protect Justin Fields. If he gets any passing opportunities, he needs to show that he can catch the ball. He has strong hands, he has good vision, and however many opportunities he gets running the ball, he needs to take advantage of every single one of those opportunities, because he has 2 guys ahead of him and nothing is going to get handed to him. Moving on to the second 4th round pick after Roshan was picked, wide receiver Tyler Scott. Now this one, I'm not really sure what to expect. When you look at the Bears roster, they have 7 wide receivers. Velus Jones is slotted in as the starting kick returner, Trent Taylor is slotted in as the starting punt returner, and Equanimeous St. Brown is a guy who the Bears staff really likes as a blocking wide receiver. So that leaves Tyler Scott in a weird position with 7 wide receivers and he doesn't have any special team spot on lock. I'm not sure if he will be active on game day. The Bears have 53 players on the roster, only 48 of them can be active, 49 when you factor in the 3rd quarterback rule, but nonetheless, at least 4 players is going to be inactive for the game. I'm starting to wonder if Tyler Scott will play. Now, if he does play, it depends on how many opportunities he gets, because the Bears has shown last year with Velus Jones, who was not active in week 1, they won't rely on offensive rookies too much. They're going to go with their veterans and let the rookies work their way in. So Tyler Scott is a guy who I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't see the field on Sunday, but if he does, he needs to make every opportunity worth it. He needs to not drop any passes. He needs to showcase his electrifying speed. Moving on to the 5th round pick, Noah Sewell, linebacker. He is the first man in if a linebacker goes down, God forbid, hopefully nobody gets injured. But Noah Sewell's going to be a special teams guy, so he just needs to be everywhere. He needs to be making tackles. He needs to be energetic. He just needs to show the coaching staff why he should be on the field at every opportunity he can get. And again, God forbid if anybody goes down and he has to step up, that's going to be huge on him, because to be a rookie linebacker in your very first game, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of offensive schemes that you haven't seen in preseason or even practice, so a lot would fall on his shoulders if he has to come in at linebacker. But as far as a special teams role, which he will have right off the bat, I think he's gonna excel in that role, so the Bears just need to see him be all over the field and energetic. Terrell Smith, cornerback in the 5th round, is kind of the same situation. He's not gonna play too much on the defense unless someone goes down, God forbid, or if the Bears move into a 4 cornerback package, he'll come in that case. That's usually heavy passing, like empty gun against the offense. So we'll see how much defense Terrell Smith plays, but if he is on defense, same thing with Tariq Stevenson. He can't get picked on. He can't look lost out there. He has to step up to the plate, but he's going to be a special teams player. Again, he needs to be physical, energetic, and all over the field. That's it for the actual drafted players who will be active on Sunday's game. The last 2 players are UDFAs. Now, obviously, everyone knows Tyson Bagent at this point if you're a Bears fan, unless you live under a rock. However, the Bears just announced their official depth chart, and Tyson Bagent was quarterback 3, so that means Nathan Peterman is going to back up Justin Fields if he has to come in a pinch. but taking advantage of the third quarterback rule, Tyson Bagent is able to be the emergency quarterback on Sunday. God forbid if Justin Fields and Nathan Peterman both go down, then Nathan Peterman will come in. But for everybody's sake, let's hope we don't have to see either of the backup quarterbacks. So that leaves the very last UDFA on the Bears squad, Quinton Johnson, who Bears fans aren't particularly familiar with, and that's because he was claimed as a UDFA by the Los Angeles Rams. They ended up cutting him and the Bears claimed him, so he is a new face. I don't really know too much about him. I don't know how he did at practice or in the games. I just know that he is an athletic safety and he's a backup guy behind Eddie Jackson and Jaquan Brisker, so we probably won't have to see him on Sunday on the defense. And if we do see him, it'll probably be in a special teams role. But again, 4 guys have to be inactive. I wouldn't be surprised if he is inactive. But again, Quinton Johnson, that is your 10th rookie on the Bears 53-man roster. Sunday against the Packers is going to be the start of a lot of journeys. It's going to be the very first opportunity for plenty rookies to prove that they belong in the NFL and prove the Chicago Bears right for believing in them and taking a chance on them with the roster spot. So overall, again, all the rookies aren't going to look like superstars. They're not going to be all pros in day one. You just want to see that they belong on the football field, that they don't look lost, and that the other team is not picking on them whenever they are on the field. So if you enjoy these type of videos I'm bringing you guys, feel free to subscribe, drop a comment, let me know how you guys are feeling. I try to read all the comments, just don't troll. And if you enjoy these type of videos, just drop a like because it helps with the channel growth, and stay tuned because I'm going to be bringing you guys a video every single day leading up to the Bears game on Sunday, and stay tuned on Saturday for my Bears hype video. Stay tuned for that, subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you haven't got your full dose of Bears, click on one of my previous videos and I'll see y'all there.